Hey Austin, it's Stefan again. Thanks again for sending in another video. Sounds like you're not fading the ball anymore, which is great. And then it looks like you're putting in some good work, which is what I want you to do as far as the work in the backyard, in front of the mirror, at the driving range, and then doing the little uh, chipping here. You indicated that you felt like this was pretty difficult, and this is if you've never done anything like this before, I can definitely understand how this would be very difficult. Sometimes in person, when I have students do these types of slow sequence swings, if they don't haven't ever done it before, it can be pretty difficult at first. However, once you get a better understanding of what to do, it's really not that bad. Definitely need to change up what you're practicing. So this is perfect what you did as far as sending me what you're practicing. So I'm just going to play this through one time. This really lets me into your world, as you know, from a distance, of course, to see what exactly you're practicing, and then that way I make sure you're putting in quality reps here. So I'm just going to play it through real time here, real quick. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to ask you to do next time is I'm going to ask you to send in the exact same drill. We're going to change up some things, but send in the practice drill again, and I want you to slow it down significantly. So let's say this takes 2 to 3 seconds to get that done. I want it to take about 10. Okay, so we're going to go over each of these pieces individually here real quick. Let me flip Grant around. Oops, small one. Okay, so went to the top of the swing and everything's real great here. So really no adjustments as of this point. What I'd like you to do, the only adjustment I would like you to do is just go ahead and hold it up there just for a second or two longer. And when you're holding it up there, I want you to think about what you're about to do. Okay, so what you're about to do is you're about to have your right knee flex down and towards the target. It's going to feel like you're very heavy underneath your right shoe. So I'm just going to play Grant here real quick, and he's just going to go, again, just a shaft parallel, and then we're just going to stop here. Okay, and we're going to do this much slower than you were doing it. So obviously, if we do yours, we can tell how obviously the shaft didn't make all the way down to parallel, and then you're kind of wondering about, you felt like your right knee was flexing towards target, but you weren't real sure if the weight was going forward, and I think you're definitely correct in that respect. I mean, it looks like you've kind of shifted your knees forward, but I don't really see the weight actually transferring forward. So you should feel like you could almost stand on your right leg by itself at this point. And when you get to this alignment, so this is going to be really, really key. So you're going to get to this alignment, club shaft parallel to the ground. Probably the best way to do this at first is going to be in front of the mirror, the window in your backyard, like we discussed. And then just look at yourself. You know, is the club at parallel? Is it too far down? Is it too far back? And then once you're at that alignment, you know, do you feel like you have 90% of your weight on your right foot? Does your right knee flex towards the target? Okay, just kind of go over some of those pieces. And then again, once you get here, you're going to stop for another 2-3 seconds. Really, that's a minimum as far as how long I want you to stop. Quite frankly, you can stop for 30 seconds if you want to. And then from here, you're going to go to parallel on the other side, okay? And this is going to be quite a bit different. So what you're going to notice is both legs are starting to straighten, and you're pushing the hips through, but the head staying relatively centered, okay? I mean, it's going to move a little bit, but really the key pieces here are the right knee is flexed towards the target. You feel a lot of weight forward at this point. Again, you're just going to pause there for a second. Both legs are going to straighten. You're going to push the hips through. You're almost going to feel like your glutes are squeezing, your hamstrings are squeezing, and then you're just going to stop there, and that's the entire drill, okay? So I'm going to play yours through one more time. Okay, so I would also venture to guess that you're hitting the golf ball probably a little bit further than I would like, at least for the time being, for the drill. Okay, so you're just way too much club head speed. And you could hit this ball again 10 yards, would be perfectly fine. So we're going to add some speed later, but I just want to make sure you can do these pieces initially. So just go over everything real quick. Go to the top here, stop for a couple seconds, think about what you're about to do. You're about to go right knee flexing towards the target. You're going to stop it parallel. You're going to feel like you have 90% of your weight forward. Then you're going to stop, hold this for a minute, think about what you're about to do. Both legs straighten, push the hips forward. It's kind of where you get that backwards C type of a look that you may have heard people talk about before. Okay, and that's the whole drill. Definitely not worried about generating any speed here, for at least for the time being. Okay. All right, so go ahead and work on that drill again, and check some of those alignments in the mirror. If you're not real sure, again, make sure you're bringing that club all the way down to parallel, and take much longer pauses between there, and send in that practice drill next time. So look forward to seeing the next one, and